consider any changes or additions to the agenda? Hearing none. Proceed with motion to accept the consent agenda as presented. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. On the hearings of individuals and groups. We have two people this evening. Rick, I'm always going to say your name wrong. Cook? Kratzer?
Bingo.
They told me. I'll try to remember.
Which?
So
Am I supposed to like face this way?
you're fine right there. Stand right there.
That'll work. Okay, so Rick Kratzer, concerned citizen, local parent. Good evening, Madam Chair, Assistant Madam Chair, directors, student reps, staff, everybody. Good evening. It's good to see you guys in this class too. I think it's something that you're saying this. Thanks again for all your volunteer work. I appreciate it, and I know everybody in the community does. You probably just hear it. I was really sad that I missed the last meeting with the cheat grades. I haven't heard all about it all the way, but I'm really sad that I missed that. You guys have to tell me ahead of time that that's going to happen ever. Or anything awesome like that. Just but on a serious note, as we search for a new superintendent, and I say we, community, I think it's really important that we look at the job description. I know it's listed on the website, and we make it like super clear to the community and to the candidates, like what the job description is. I think maybe even go into detail about, like, if they don't follow the job description, they don't perform, like what the process is to make something else happen. I mean, we're put it all out and open ahead of time. I think we really got to be some. I honestly don't know what happened. I don't know if anybody really knows what happened because it doesn't matter. I know that the job description on the website needs a little bit of work. I really like the last line of it that was like super concise, but some of it's just so vague. I can go into detail more on that. I'm talking about that. So I haven't heard it out. But I would like to make a first public nomination for the superintendent. But yeah, if there's anything I can do to help in any way, I don't know that I can. Like I said, please reach out. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Sammy Joe, the Redesign.
Good evening. I timed my speech on a 3:20, so if we could give the extra 1 second. Okay, so good evening, members of the Eatonville School Board. For the record, I'm Sammy Joe 30acre, a resident of Eatonville. First, I'd like to thank you for all of the publicity for the search for the new superintendent. I received emails and I read an article in the Dispatch newspaper. And since I don't use social media, I am grateful for these communication venues. And I think the survey and the meeting are fabulous ideas. So thank you very much. Secondly, as you know, we're in the third week of legislation in Olympia. So I'd like to highlight a few of the bills that I'm following and submitting written testimony on. And I urge you to individually do the same. Each one takes about 4 minutes to complete. The legislature needs to know where we stand on these bills. House Bill 1093 by Joe Walsh is about parents as the primary stakeholders in their children's education, not the government, and student empowerment scholarships. Its companion bill is Senate Bill 5558 by Senator Pugh. I'm in favor of both of these, and we've talked about those since January of 2021, I think. Senate Bill 5024 is parents' rights in education, providing access to educational materials, curriculum, who's teaching it, and posting state assessment scores for math, English, and reading online. It also governs the recording of school board meetings, and I'm in favor of this bill as well. Similarly, Senate Bill 5008 provides access to educational materials, curriculum, and who's teaching it, and has to be posted within 14 days of curriculum adoption, or there's going to be a fine. Senate Bill 5237, however, seeks to punish the school district for non-compliance of OSPI's direction. It would take away our local autonomy for our district, and it would force us to adhere to policies that the big cities have to adhere to. I recommend a con on this bill because we elect you guys for our community because we view our community. Senate Bill 5009 requires written parental consent before a child participates in comprehensive sex education. This gets a pro from me. Senate Bill 5054 concerns me because it desires at least 4 hours per week that teachers will be removed from instructional time with students for the purpose of collaborating with other teachers and PLCs. And that's going to be established under the collective bargaining agreement. Non-certificated staff will be responsible for that instructional time in front of our children. Currently, we use late start Wednesdays to fill in that time. Teachers gather during prep periods or when elementary kids are at lunch or recess. So this one gets a con from me because at least 4 hours is 4 hours or more. House Bill 1071 funds a school resource officer in every school. Please, please, please support this bill. House Bill 1238 and Senate Bill 5539 desire free school lunch for all students. I'm for free school lunch. My concern is who's going to fund that. Senate Bill 5087 will prohibit school boards from asking a prospective superintendent if they've ever been placed on admin leave, if they've ever been on an improvement plan, if they've ever been under investigation, or if they've ever resigned in lieu of termination. Considering the situation that we are now in, I hope you can ask these questions and search for a qualified superintendent. I vote con on this bill. House Bill 1244 wants to increase enrichment levy authorizations per student. Senate Bill 5441 wants DEI curricula in the regional district with a person hired as a regional inclusive curricula coordinator. It requires the formation of a regional youth advisory council for inclusive curricula to be filled with one student from each of the school districts within that regional district. My concern is we have a hard time getting our students here, the local, because we're so busy and our credits are required. We don't have a lot of extra time, and now we're gonna have to send a student to that as well. I feel like our curriculum review board committee does a great job of meeting all of those requirements for OSPI. And then there's Senate Bill 5067 that seeks to make bone marrow donation part of mandatory education for grades 9 through 12, and there's no opt-out option. What are we going to cut out of our already strained curriculum to get the special interest item into our mandatory curriculum? So this one gets a con from me. There's still many more. Apologize. I just want to make sure, since it's on the record, people know that there are things out there that we need to be looking in on. And so thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Thank you for me. Because I know you don't have to. Thanks.
Thank you. Right. Go on for reports and presentations. Finals District 170. Fine.
Well, good evening, everyone, and happy Board Appreciation Month. Thank you so much for your so Lindsay and I are here tonight. So I'll introduce myself. I'm our Public Information Officer. My name is Alice Pursa.
I'm Lindsay Fitzer, and I actually do most of the editing of the website.
She is the master. She's literally the webmaster for the school district. So she does a great job on all the back end work for the website. And I'd like to acknowledge online tonight with us is Nick. So he's our website manager. He's actually from the company Final Site, which is our vendor. That's how we have our website. And we owe Nick big time because it's 10 p.m. for him. So he's on the East Coast and joining us this evening. So thank you, Nick. I hope you can hear us okay. Very good. So I'm going to stop. Yeah, just a moment after it's screen and stress if we're considering the redesign of the website and feedback to edit some information so that we can listen to all of that feedback. And we've actually been working with the site for a while now and talking what's the cost to get into all of them. But I would just like to Final Site, as I mentioned, we launched the
video media class here at Eatonville High School. They actually utilize the calendar images that they take on their own and helping Lindsay and I update the website with students and hopefully video because there's something that we would like to do. And then along this line of our current district logo, this would be a great time for our website. Next, I'm going to ask for Tyler's help to click our link here. This is a sample site of the website in the state of Maine, and it just comes in. It's so crisp and refreshed. The campus in a great way, and then to see, but you can see there that drop down, so then the menu to magnifying glass there, so that if you want to just search for something pretty quickly, you can type in the word there. To the right there, to the right hand side, those white buttons, things that we can right now we say superintendent search, and that would be right into the polls just a little bit. Then I can show you some other great features. So currently on our website, we have blue buttons on our homepage, and they're for our quick links. But a little blue icon, you can actually have a photo, and then that will take you to other parts of the website. And then if you continue to scroll down, you can hover over the currently on our website, but it's just a different way to format that. As you scroll down a little bit more, it shows current. That just looks pretty nice. Happening now, so that could be current articles. Just posted when school improvement plan presentation and have pictures, so that could be really wanted to share with everyone as a refresh website. So and I'm going to let him kind of explain the scope of the work, the options.
Thanks, Allison.
Take it away.
Give me share. Oh, this is good. So first off, I want to say thank you for letting me present here tonight. Blurb about myself. In 2018, you guys there. By giving them the tools, the tricks, whatever encompassing. So go-to guy / jack of all trades for a bunch of different things. So as Allison mentioned, I have been working with her for a little while now and trying to go over different options that are available to you guys. I like to say that I will never twist your arm and say you have to go one route. I just like to present as much information as I can, let you guys make the choice that best suits you, because what one theme may work for you may not work for another district for various reasons. But I like so what I would present here is theme. All of my themes, by the way, we have 20 themes up, all named after kids. those things about that. But in any case, I'll show you, this is a demo version, so I'll actually show you this first. This is our theme that I just alluded to. If I scroll down really quick, you will see that there's 20 themes here that you can fairly similar. Exact, because clients have been with us for so long, we do modifications and updates. So just like everyone has a stock blueprint of a house, like a colonial or a ranch or whatever, in their house, restructure the flow, knock down some walls, in addition, etc. So just know that even though something launches with a positive theme, it may not to try to run through this very quickly. Just know that I am open for questions at the end, or if you guys want to follow up with me later. So I threw in your name and everything at the top just so it looked a little bit more conducive, and I threw in a blue color. It may not be the proper hex codes and everything that your site would be based off, and I didn't bother throwing in a logo because, again, we had mentioned this is a great time to update that logo, and if you wanted to have a district-specific logo and also school-specific logos, this would be a great time to implement that as well. So if I click this demo button on the left-hand side, you're going to see a number of different things that I can play around with from those colors that I had talked about, the fonts that are available to you, Google fonts or Adobe fonts, whatever you have access to. You could throw in your title, logo files, et cetera, et cetera. District navigation, I think is something that's pretty important, especially talk about with districts, obviously. Not only will it give you the option to see your social media in the upper left-hand corner. I know this is really small, so I do apologize. But it also really gives you the option to click on a district home or the individual schools drop-down menu from any screen that you're on, if that makes sense. So while every school site will have its own drop-down menu that people can click on to go to the various navigatable items, you will always have this available school section on the upper right-hand side, so people can drop down to all your early education, primary schools, middle schools, high schools, et cetera, or any programs that you have as well. Other things I want to focus on, we have accreditation logos thing at the bottom I'll get to in a second. We will translate is other stuff. Just know that our team will work with you in terms of the actual hex code colors. Something that we are always held to when we launch a new site is WCAG compliance and accessibility standards. I will not go obviously in depth into that because that could open up a can of worms, but just know that when you're launching these colors, they need to have enough contrast in them between the blacks, whites, and the other blues if you're choosing 2 blues on your site. So that way when somebody's looking at it, it has a 4.5 contrast or better. But not to get too specific on you, you can type in different hex code colors, and if something does fail, we'll have a red box around it. One other thing, or other things I want to focus on, not just the demo section, is that once I scroll down, you can actually see that there is a menu button to click on, just like you were seeing before. This menu button in particular is very conducive for a mobile user. One thing that we're noticing right now is the huge trend or huge push in the last few years, obviously, for everybody viewing things on their mobile device or just a smaller device like a tablet or a laptop, as opposed to this, big mega screen desktop that we're looking at constantly at our desks. So this is really nice. It's an expansive menu, so you can click on this. Again, it works mobilely or it works on a desktop or laptop. You have options and flexibility here when it comes to these buttons or the site map, as we're going to call them here. So at the top in the menu and everything, overall site map in terms of those top level pages going all the way down to your child pages and everything below. It's a nice flow. And is like one link, 2, link 3. Obviously, these are going to be things you guys want to link out to maybe an SIS or to your social media or whatever have you. That's really just a call to action. These buttons on the right side, I'm showing you in terms of like you can change these over time. You can when we have another pandemic kind of thing, you can do something for graduation, enroll if you want to have it enroll in it and inquire kind of thing. That's always great to have. Another thing you will notice is that you have and something that Allison was talking about was imagery. I'm going to show you a couple other examples that have better imagery as well, but with resources, the module and photos, what's called the camera. Click on the arrows in the corner. By the way, are something that is required video that you have available. To do that, I always recommend crisp, clear imagery. It just takes your site to the car. Look for a house before, but if you have those dingy old photos and things, just doesn't make things look nice. The same thing is like a window imagery will go a long way to that. Small caveat I do want to mention is second load times. Just download movies basically on the site. View on the top level here. I'm going to scroll and kind of go over what Alice was mentioning. Individual sections. This is the positive theme again that we were kind of highlighting because it has imagery. Like, we have other options to you, and I'm jumping forward to another theme right now really quickly to show you that this is called the Canton theme. And again, really quickly, use an event section modules that you have available to the back on the back end of news or site. You can pull down a bunch of different boards for the district with photos again if you guys wish. Also have links to read more. So if somebody sees like a highlight an article about going here and enrolling my kids, so they can click on the read more, we'll just drop them in. And then the calendar, this is for what's happening on this page. I choose I can do the school that we're talking about for their specific calendars. We'll keep the district or on the specific schools as well. You're going to be featured post on the web. You can also have the calendar. That's one of the different ways that you can see where there's imagery for ways to display this by the number section is called our infographics panel. This again allows you to choose to go on to the Army and Navy, etc. All those kind of things you want to highlight by the numbers. These are really good things to have in going or becoming a student. This is flexible over time. You maybe have staff for one school year, and these numbers need the background image behind that. Some of the other things don't have that by the numbers because maybe infographics things student or teachers like, hey, this is why I chose to work here, or send my daughter, why I like being a student kind of thing. Again, so just a number of different options. Information in terms of like where you guys are located, resources like this is how you submit a form on the site saying and this accreditation logo. So if you guys have you're partnered with or local businesses that you're partnered with and you want to put those guys on your site, you certainly are welcome to do stuff like that. And again, I'm just going to jump over really quickly. There's different options for the way footers look on other sites. There's different options for the way headers look on other sites, how the buttons are laid out, an expansive menu versus a menu that no mean, oh, somebody just popped in. But by no means is this sort of like a cookie cutter website. Like we actually code this to specific clients, excuse me, that they can utilize for years to come. I do want to jump over really quickly. Oh, I put it on the different tab. That's right. To a statement of work. I am not going to go through this in its entirety with you guys because you guys would fall asleep by the time I got to the end of it. But just know that I can send this over to you if you want an example scope of work. This outlines a lot of things from like timeline expectations of how many weeks it will take to accommodate, what you will have access to during the deployment time. Basically, you will be handed a project manager who will meet with probably Allison and Lindsay weekly and just say, hey, like we need to get your logo files, we need to get your photos, we need to get your colors, we need to get et cetera on the weekly and make sure you guys are migrating content and doing all that other fun stuff. So they will be assigned a project manager to meet with them for it says 9 to 13 weeks. I want everyone to take this with a grain of salt. I've seen people launch faster. I've seen people launch a heck of a lot slower. It really depends on the comfortability level and also when is a good time to launch for you. My quick recommendations, I recommend launching over the summer. Don't wait till the first day of school and say, hey, we're launching a new site. Parents are not going to like you because they're going to be like, I can't find anything. I have no idea what's going on. So do something what I call like a soft launch over the summer. It will save you in the long run, I promise. What other things I could talk about? Pricing is also $15,000 for a theme. Just so you are aware, this is not only the design for the district, but this will incorporate the themes for the individual schools as well as content migration. That is another big thing I should mention. If I jump back, this is the back end of your site right now, just to give everybody a sneak peek of what's going on. We have a snapshot showing me that you guys have 607 pages. While that's not an exorbitant amount, may seem like a lot to you guys. I was with a client earlier today who had almost 10,000. So this to me is not a lot. But that still is a lot of manual work to take all the information you have on your current site and bring it over. Something I will work with Lindsay and Allison on is doing sort of a spring cleaning, for lack of a better term, or a scrub of the current site, saying, are all these pages, relevant? Do they make sense? Do they stand the test of time? And do we want to bring them over? Do we want to create a new site map? Bring it, adjust. This is the clean up and that I think that's I wanted to do that extremely quickly. So
I do have all the right information on those new websites look great. What about just polishing up the one that we have? Is that
there's majority want to do what's called work order, where I work with Allison, Lindsay, and say, this is what our team would like to make a changes to, whether you guys don't like these buttons anymore or you don't like the hero image section or whatever it is, right? I can then meet with my small work order team and say, hey, it's going to take X number of hours for our front end development team to do the work, implement the changes you guys are looking for, and we could do something like that. Those options are obviously a heck of a lot less expensive, but they also are sort of limiting you in the sense that you can only make adjustments to what you currently have. Again, I go back to the reference of like building a house. Once you have the foundation of a house, everything, yes, you can do add-ons and all this kind of stuff. But sometimes if you just don't like where you're living, it's just best to move, if that makes sense, for one reason or the other, not just location. But that's why there's an option. There's a theme option. There's also other options for custom packages where we can talk about like doing a completely custom website. So I just want to say we're talking about themes right now and bottlenecking it, but there are cheaper and more expensive options, if that, for lack of a better term. But great question. Any other questions?
Yeah, I do have one more question. You talked about the theme including a district design. Are you talking about helping us with the logo brand or just we would
Great.
come up with our own logo and you guys?
Clarification question. This is not something we do. Like we have services that can help with certain things like marketing and other stuff like that. But really, like design do either a self-reflection or hire some other. But what I'm more so like if you pick elementary schools, this should all we can apply those but to the individual schools as well, if that makes sense.
Thank you.
Any follow-up questions later and you want to Lindsay to forward them on to me, I have no problem answering it. But anyway, thank you guys. Bye, everyone.
Message that Chris was trying to get at. Our next. Was that so I got a message working and I'm trying to reach someone.
Because it looks like his invite did not go through as well, so we did receive the original.
Okay.
So let me send that over.
So it's coming from Amanda. So I need to tell her to look for. It's coming from you. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to reach out to her with the. I'll put that.
Working on that. Introducing reps. It doesn't seem to go ahead and go back. Wait. Tell a little us that the if you look at our revenues, we're about a third of the way, we're a third of the way through the year, as far as our financials go, because we cut off at the end of December. So we're about a third of the way through, and we're about at a third of our revenues, except for federal. There are some grants that still need to be claimed. They've switched sites, from OSP, a really nice that we're learning how to navigate. So we, if you look at our expenditures, you'll see kind of the same story that we're about through our budgeted expense for the year with salaries and benefits expenses, with certificated salaries, classified salaries, employee benefits, right on par last year, if not a little bit more, not too much, but our gradual incline there. okay, do we think this is what we're gonna see? That we have so far that we will end $1,000 less than where we ended last year, which is what we gained last over the 2 years. Chris on. Still working. So we're gonna kind of direct it. Finish business, so let's move on to new business. Suitable for out-of-state travel. We are fundraising for so their own funds as well. Everybody say aye. Aye. Okay. Yeah.
Back, we're gonna skip back.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
No problem. Okay, Superintendent, search update, Chris McDuffie and, oh, Chris.
Oh, good evening. I'm not sure about the technical difficulties, but thank you for sending a few more links. This one worked. I hope everyone is doing well. Should I just jump into the briefing?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I saw that in your packet was just the one-page handout I thought I would use just as an overview of the agenda. You know, starting with just gratitude. I so appreciate working with this board of directors. It's been great getting to know you. I really appreciate your clarity about how you're approaching this search. Your care and concern that it's a transparent process and that you're going to want to engage as many of your stakeholders as possible and that all voices matter. So again, applaud you for how you've launched the process so far. I also just want to thank Lucy and Amanda and Allison for all of their help thus far with all of the logistics. We're off and running, and what a great team you have there. Reminder that the process consists of 4 phases. That's engagement, recruitment, selection, and transition. So we are well underway with the first 2 phases, which is engagement and recruitment. Those are happening simultaneously, and there's a lot going on. Just want to hit a few highlights. Mentioning the one-on-one meetings, we've had 5 conducted so far and many more scheduled. We have focus groups. Thank you for all of your help setting up. We have 8 focus groups coming up on the 31st and then again on February 9th. And then we have an open forum for the community at large. This is a everyone's invited type of a forum. And again, your voice matters. That is on February 9th. And a big thank you for helping with the survey launch. That's launched on Monday, and it's open until the 3rd of February. I checked this afternoon, and we already have 178 people who have logged on and completed the survey, which is fantastic for just a couple days under our belt. So that speaks volumes. And we do hope for a good turnout. So I know that Allison and Amanda will help with reminding people in the next couple weeks to be sure to complete that survey. Recruitment, as I mentioned, well underway. We've had several calls from interested individuals, and we've reached out to many that we thought might be a good fit. And we have 5 individuals who've already started the online application process. And it's very early. So again, we're encouraged. A reminder that it's open until March 10th. So we will have a lot of work between now and then, including the leadership profile report that we talked with you briefly about. But that is a big milestone after we have held these focus groups and the forum and the survey is completed. We analyze all of that feedback and put together a leadership profile report for you that will sum up the themes that we've heard and what people are looking for in their next superintendent. So again, we're scheduled to present that to you on February 22nd, and we look forward to that as well. So I would just open it up for any questions or comments you might have. You and all of your team.
That's great. Thank you. Facilitate that. I guess we'll reach out to the community to be an important part of this conversation.
Well, thank you all very much. We'll be briefing you regularly as we move forward next Tuesday when I'm in the district. And thank you for your patience in trying to connect me to your meeting.
Thank you. Thank you for all that you're doing in your firm. We really appreciate the personal contact that you've had with us and the way that you've structured things so that we get as much involvement as we can in the process.
Right. Take care. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye. We'll move on then back to new business. Policy and procedures. These, I'm okay with one of them. If anybody can pull one out. So we'll take B, C, and E all together and I'll entertain a motion to accept.
We're approving B through E.
Huh?
B through E, correct?
Oh, B through E.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
Seconded, any discussion? We've all had these policies for some time and have read them thoroughly and had discussion about them. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
You go right ahead.
So I just want to first say the wrestling season has not been great for many of our athletes. A lot of the tournaments that we have entered into, a lot of first place, second place games, third place placings between them. Which is great because over the years, the amount of people that have been in the wrestling has decreased, but with the amount of put in, it really shows that even though there's only a couple of them, able to go compete against these other schools and still excel at this high level. And then basketball teams, both have done great, winning many games, not just in the season, but recently. They're both still progressing to win as many games as they can, and they're getting prepared for districts future. And hopefully, to state. The senior class has been selling tickets this week and last week to our upcoming dance solo that is being watched in me personally and all the people that I've talked to, especially my friend group, are very excited for this because we always like dressing, going out and whatnot. And then class meetings happened last Friday. The elected leadership for each of their classes brought everybody together, sat them down in the big gym or the small gym, wherever they decided to meet, and just talked about their fundraising and what things that they need to do so that they can have these great big projects that they can accomplish. I know that this year's sophomore class has fundraised a lot of money, and so they're very much prepared. Their senior year, they're profitable. And this week is fast approaching for the high school. It's just really a week where it's around Valentine's Day. We try to bring everybody together even more than what we are, and just to really celebrate each other and get into the love type festivities. And then, and so the ASB and me included in this, we realized that there's a lot of students that don't get to know every event that happens or the latest news in the high school. So me personally, and a couple other people have decided that we're going to try to start up the Eatonville High School newspaper. So I've talked to Ms. Sturgeon about it, and she thought great idea, and she's really pushing for it. We aren't going to go to the press and the actual papers, which I thought would have been a great idea, but we feel that the digital version of it will be able to reach out to more of the students rather than just, hey, it's newspaper. We're in the process of finding a teacher to have it as a club first, just to see if we have any real interest. I sent out a survey to student body, and out of the student body, I got quite a few responses. And the majority, I'd say, actually more than the majority, would say that they would definitely willing to read it, which that's a pretty important part of it. But in that group, a lot of them just told us that they would be willing to help in the writing of the articles and taking photos or interviewing people, which is great because we need as much help as we want if we want this up and running. We want to make it a club first, like I said, to see if there's any interest in it, and then eventually if there is a big spike in people wanting to help in it and to read it, there is a chance that we're going to be able to make it into a journalism / newspaper class for next year. We are looking at different websites to use. As of right now, we are leaning towards Wix.com. That's just the one that we felt has been the easiest, and talking with Skip Smith on his articles and whatnot that he's done, he says that's probably a very good area in the website to start everything, to get the UR code. He said that GoDaddy or getting off of their website would be the best option. So Hannah's not here because she's playing hard and trying to win against Montesino. And so I can't really speak on her behalf, but I know she had.
Anna is one big busy girl. Not only is she doing Running Start, she's playing basketball. She's also our Daffodil Princess, and she's also our board rep. So she's busy, and we applaud all. And I applaud the newspaper too. There might be somebody in the audience who has a little newspaper experience that might want to share some expertise too. Just saying. So Eatonville Middle School, we had some fun this week. We went, Paulette and I attended their Martin Luther King assembly, and that was well done, well organized, and very, very cooperative. The Eatonville Middle School is also doing a Super Bowl fun food drive, where you bring a can of soup, and you put it in the barrel of the team that you're going to support. So just kind of a fun thing where, getting kids involved and making some choices, both for your favorite team, but also supporting family agencies. Today, the Grits program did a fish toss with the Nisqually Conservation Project, which sounded like a lot of fun. I haven't got a daily report from it, but it sounded. Eatonville Elementary and Warehouser and Columbia Crest all did their family either literacy or math nights. Very, very well attended. People are getting excited about this, and it's sponsored by Title I. So we are able to facilitate food and instruction and a lot of participation. So that's exciting. On February 3rd and 4th, the Eatonville Elementary kids are going to do Matilda. If you like Roald Dahl, you might like that play, and it'll be at the EHS auditorium. So that should be fun. Everybody is doing a lot of testing right now. It's a semester, so we're getting back test scores. We're looking forward to seeing how our kids are doing. Columbia Crest has a dad in the preschool that's also a Tacoma policeman, and he came up and shared his vehicle and handcuffs and siren and all that fun stuff with the kids, and that's always fun. It kind of takes the scariness out of it. It's important those kids have that touch and know that this is your friend, and that they're there to serve you and to help. So I think that's kind of important. Directors Gilliardi, Litzenberger, and Sova also went to Columbia Crest and facilitated a "What Does the School Board Do" activity, and that was fun and very informative. Kids got really involved, and if you ask nice, Rhonda might bring her bingo game. See what you know.
Be fun. We can do it. We can do.
So it is board night, and we'd like to honor you and say thank you for all you do. Sometimes it's a thankless job, but we do thank you. When issues come up, you have to deal with them, and that's not always easy. But on behalf of the whole community, all the kids, we'd like to honor you. Corey, come on. Yeah, we need a photo. Amanda, can we get a picture?
Yes.
Okay. And Ashley Silva. Hi. Rhonda Litzenberger. Paulette Gilliardi. Hey, Ashley, hold it up. Thank you.
It is like graduation.
It is. Last And we
One of all when you're on.
want to recognize our two student board representatives. Dylan and I, sorry, would rather be over watching the game. But, when you something as important as school board, you take it seriously and you try to do it well. And we want to thank Hannah and Dylan. Hannah can't come. Also, you're getting a token of our appreciation in those blue packages. And I want to say that when you open them, you're going to be real excited about it. And I want to give credit to Sally, who is the daughter of a park service person. So she has Mount Rainier in her park. So I would like you to go ahead and open those.
I was intrigued by the note. I figured it must be.
What?
She was shaking it.
Oh, good. And Dylan and Hannah get lovely bundt cakes from me. Everybody tried the bundt plate. So pick the one you want. Yes. Somewhere there's a card.
It's up on right behind you. Let me grab it. I only had Dylan's up, but I have it right over there.
Oh, that's cool. Oh my goodness.
And this is your, it has your, did you take this photo?
That
is
fantastic. So beautiful.
Oh
Thank
my
you.
goodness.
This is amazing. I just want to amazing.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Sally.
you.
So thoughtful and beautiful.
Thank you all. That is a
Great picture.
That's a great picture.
Okay, Colin, I'll turn it over to you.
Right? All right, it's time now for board comments. Dylan, do you have any more? Yeah, I think.
Yep, I think.
Hit it
I
all.
think you covered
Yeah.
it. Good, thank you. And you do really, really well. We really appreciate giving the information. All right, then board members, who would like to?
I got a list of things. Since the police officers visited Columbia Crest, my sons are asking me if I can bring an airplane. I'm working on that. Don't get your hopes up. Number one, I just want to thank the kids. These letters mean a lot.
Yes.
Mean a lot. It kind of makes it worth it. That's why we're all here. Everyone in this room, that's why we're here. Please fill out the survey. If you don't know where the survey is, we have it on the district website. We really want everybody to have a voice. Please fill out the survey. February 9th, please come to the open forum. Let your comments and opinions be known.
Can I add one more thing to that? We're gonna put kiosks in every school building. So if you know somebody that doesn't own a computer, doesn't have internet, doesn't have that, tell them to go to the school and ask for the computer that's got the survey on it. So you can fill it out right there. And you can also do paper pencil, it's fine. It still works. We'll have those available at the meetings. Spread the word.
And then my last thing was, or second last thing, Dylan, if you guys ever find a domain name or a URL, I'm sure we could try and find and put that on our dispatch district part of the page, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And forward that so people can definitely support that. And then I actually went out to the Columbia Crest Family Reading Night, and my only plug would be if those events are out there and you have kids in them, please go. It is so nice to visit with parents that you hear their kids' names through your kids, and then you meet them and make those connections. And it just seems like in today's society and everything that's going on, we're so divided, but it's those types of activities that bring us closer and helps us become grounded in what we have in common. And what we have in common is our children. So just keep them in our minds, and I am grateful for the opportunity to have been on this board. And I want to thank you, and that's my time.
Well, I know everything Corey said. Definitely covered just about all of it for me. I am optimistic, as I said at the last meeting where I was here in person. And I very much feel like things are finally going in the direction that I am confident that we're moving the right direction. And it starts with just the communication, the surveys, and getting the amount of public input that I think this board has been desiring for a while. And it really feels like we finally have emerged from the COVID fog. So
I have a kind of a lot. So, do you have anything else?
No, I'll just piggyback off of everything that she said. I agree with.
Perfect, then you heard that. So the first thing I'm going to say is on February 26th, that's a Sunday, it's the WASA Legislative Conference in Olympia. I would love to have everyone there. I am registered. Amanda, all you have to do is tell her you want to go. She'll get you registered to be there. We will have the opportunity to hear from Chris Reichdahl. We'll have the opportunity to ask questions of Chris Reichdahl. We'll have a small schools committee meeting where we'll be meeting with other school board directors who are from small and middle schools. So that's an important opportunity. And then on Monday, February 27th is our day on the Hill where we will, all of the school board directors from the state go to Olympia and meet with various legislators. So that's always been a great day, and we'd love to have our student reps. Don't know how busy you are on that day. Of February, okay? If you and Hannah together would be great. Usually your teachers are pretty okay with you going to meet your senators and representatives. And we like to take, and I'm gonna give this assignment to your leadership class, Dylan. We like to take a little Eatonville swag, something that is really represents Eatonville School District. It's a beautiful picture. We've done, the metal shop has done cutouts of the mountain. It's been, the kids have always come up with something really fantastic. So if you have the opportunity to talk to your leadership team about what's something we could take that would represent Eatonville School District, we'd like to see that. So those are two really important days. I hope you would all join me. We had a great opportunity to meet with Representative Casey Dupp, who is Maria Cantwell's representative. She came out today, or he came out today with Mayor Boglitz, and we had a fantastic team, and Dylan was part of that team as student representative to share about our need for a new stadium and track and field and the safety issues and concerns that we have around that. And so we are seeking every avenue that we can for funding. One avenue is federal funding. And so they are going to help us connect with some community improvement opportunities for our stadium track and field. We will soon be meeting with Kim Schreier as well, and so we can do that. And then on the 26th, also be meeting with JT Wilcox, Andrew Marcus, and Jim McKeon, presenting for state funding as well. I wanted to thank Emmy Lay for hosting a pizza day at Columbia Crest. She does pizza Wednesdays in town of Eatonville, and it occurred to her that there was a group of students that don't get to come because they are not local, and so she was very kind and coordinated a pizza Wednesday at Columbia Crest. Fun activity. It's great to be there. I just wanted to re-emphasize February 9th at 7 o'clock. We want you all to be there. They said, what can we do? That's what we could do. Get everyone that you know to be there and to share their perspective. Viewpoints. We as a board will not be there. Not because I will be there to introduce our
yes. And then
speakers.
we
Then I leave.
our search firm has asked us that we come, that we do not come so that the community can feel free to express exactly how they feel and to be very candid and feel open with their ability to do that. Okay, I think.
Where?
Auditorium. It'll be in the auditorium at 7 o'clock. Okay, I think all the information.
Thank you. And I too would like to like Tori mentioned, the reading night at Columbia Crest, I was able to attend that. And the thing that really spoke to me when I walked in the door and just wandered around and watched the people was everybody seemed so excited and to be there together, to be in person, to be there together, you know, to have an event. Columbia Crest is kind of the key place for that part of the community. And so they have not been able to be involved with me at this. I mean, I can remember when we have a Christmas program up there or something, but it's a packed house and they aren't all parents there. People that just want to be there and see what's going on and enjoy children. And it was that kind of a night, just that feel of just people enjoyed being together. That was wonderful. I too enjoyed the Martin Luther King presentation at the middle school. It was put on by the student leadership. They planned it, delivered it. I learned some new things. I didn't take notes and I wished I had. Listen, maybe can remember, but there was part of their presentation was on, there were some ladies that worked back in NASA, back in the day before computers. And they were mathematicians and they put spaceships in orbit. They put John Glenn in orbit by doing math by hand. It was, I've got to look up the whole history of these ladies because it was just amazing. I was like, wow, you know, they were great. And the students did such a great job and just enjoyed being in the building with them too. It was just a fun time. And I too want to thank everyone for the notes and the appreciation for the board. You know, being with kids, being with students in their buildings, and just the acknowledgement of what we do. That's our pay. That's what we're doing. No, we don't need those thank yous because we'll do it anyway. But they sure help. You know, they help to know that people do show their appreciation. And we've gotten some really cute ones from some students. They've been just, you know, wonderful and exciting. And just to see that they actually sat down and wrote a thank you, you know, that was great. So appreciate that. And I want to say publicly thank you to Mrs. Fountain for coming in and helping us out and doing the work that she's doing, putting things in place, doing things that need to be taken care of. It's a huge relief for the board, and I know it's a huge relief for staff, and she's been great. And when she says she's having fun, that's kind of scary, but you know, but I'm glad she's having fun. I really am. So that's all I have. If there's nothing else, we will adjourn this meeting at 8:11.